NYYST.
Holla, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocket here and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole
YST podcast, and we are live on NYY Underground. I am your host, Christian, and I'm with SGR.
Okay, all right, okay. I'm gonna go watch Lilo and Stitch later. Okay, we're gonna do a review. Okay.
Ryan, what's up, bro?
What's
It's
up,
been
dude?
a long time, man. How's
I know, it's been
everything?
too long. I just hate it. I hate it. But I've been doing all right. You know, watched the little All-Star festivities the last couple of days. Was catching up on some sleep, some non-Yankees baseball for a few days. How have you been, man?
You know, keeping busy, bro. Keeping the train running here on the NYYST podcast. Had to fly solo on Sunday, but you know, we do what we got to do around here. I was teasing this show for a while that this was going to be a big episode, but we're only half here. We were hoping everybody was going to be here. We're only half here, but I'm glad that you're here, man. It's been a long time to you and I sit down and talk Yankee baseball. Unless, okay,
Okay.
I don't. You want to do a Superman review instead? I hear
Did
that's
you
all the
did you
rage.
watch it? Did
I
you
have
go
not
see
se-
it?
I have
I
not
did
seen
see it. I did see it. I mean, if you didn't see it, I don't want to talk about it.
Is it Mike Francesa bad or is it?
I mean, Superman. Who wants to go watch a 2-hour movie of Superman getting beat up the whole time? Okay.
You know what? I didn't notice that until I went back and I watched that. I saw it and then I watched you sent us that clip of Mike reviewing Superman, and he's kind of right. He does there it is like a whole movie he's getting beat down. But I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. I didn't really find it like woke or anything like that. It was just kind of a movie in its own universe, and you kind of take it for what that is. It's a good movie. If you
Well,
like
I
that kind
heard
of stuff, I
I
like that
heard
kind
they
of
just jump right into it.
yeah, it feels more like a sequel almost. It's like a sequel because you're so familiar with the character. But I think it's good. It's a solid like 7 out of 10 movie for me.
Yeah, I'll wait for it to hit Max. I'll watch it
Yeah.
when it comes. I have never actually seen the original Superman with Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, I have in like bits and pieces, but I never sat down and watched it from beginning to end. Although I kind of want to. Gene Hackman, Lex Luthor, I kind of
I
big
it was
Hackman
it
guy.
was on sale for Prime Day and it was like 5.99, so I bought it because I can't remember my HBO Max password.
Oh shit.
So I've been watching it in bits and pieces. It's like 2.5 hours long, and like I'm an hour into the movie, and like we haven't seen him do anything yet. I'm like, but then I'm watching it, I'm like, this was groundbreaking for 1978, and like
Sure.
I'm,
Big time. Yeah, it was 78 the original came out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Crackle Nuts is in the chat. You know, he's starting early tonight. Okay, I thought he was
What up,
banned out.
Crackle?
I thought he was banned last time after he said Nestor Cortez was my favorite pitcher, but he's back
Oh
here
crap.
tonight. Scott writes in the chat. We got a lot of Uncle Dom's here. Tina's here. Everybody's in the chat.
What up,
So
everybody?
if you're here joining us live here tonight, make sure you like this video, subscribe to NYY Underground, and make sure you are subscribed to the NYYST podcast on your favorite podcast platform. I'm just going to address the elephant in the room. I kicked them off the show. Okay. There was a lot of complaining from people leaving us 1-star reviews saying they hated him. So I got rid of them.
Yeah, you tossed them
Get the hell out of here. I would
to
never
the
do
curb.
that to him. And I do appreciate everybody that counteracted that asshole that was leaving 1-star reviews because he didn't like Sem. We got a bunch of 5-star reviews in from people supporting the show. So we appreciate that. And please make sure you are subscribed to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform and leave a 5-star rating review. Sem's all right. He'll be, if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, he'll be back Sunday for our next episode. So he hasn't gone anywhere. It's just life. That's what it is. It's just life.
That's life.
So we got a lot to talk about here as the Yankees hit the All-Star break, or we're in the middle of the All-Star break here.
Crackle Mess just got me. Christian says, after drinking Mountain Dew. I see that.
You big Mountain Dew guy, Ryan?
I used to be a big Mountain Dew guy. I haven't had it in years though. It's usually that's my go-to drink if I get a little T-Bell, a little Mountain Dew.
I was a big Mountain Dew guy back in the day, and remember the old wise tale was like, "Oh, it'll reduce your
Yeah.
sperm count." Well,
Yeah. That was definitely just like Coca-Cola or something pushing
I was
that.
like, "Well, you know what? I know plenty of people that guzzled that shit, and we all got kids now."
And
So
they do, and they did the do. They did the do.
I just recently bought Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Yeah, you're a
It's
Baja Blast
I
guy.
don't know. I was just trying
It's
something
the blue
different.
one.
Yeah,
Blue?
it's like tropical. You know, it's a little
Yeah,
tropical
I'm a
here.
classic guy if I'm gonna go with it. I can't remember the last time I had a Mountain Dew. Go for one.
I'm strictly zero sugar now, though. I can't drink full sugar.
Yeah, and that's why I stay away because I don't. The zero sugar version is it's not that good.
Coke Zero is like the goat status
Premium,
of
premium. I
premium.
I, I hate how good it is because I'm full on addicted to it.
All right, you guys want to talk some baseball? Or you want
I
to talk about your
guess.
favorite diet sodas? You know,
Yeah,
whatever
let's
you
just
want
have
to
a
do here,
full.
man.
Let's turn this into a soda pot.
Do you
About
like
Sports
Cherry
Empire.
Seven Up?
No, I still
Ah,
literally Coke Zero is all I drink. I think it's in my bloodstream.
Cherry Seven Up just recently came out with a zero flavor, zero sugar version.
All right, maybe I'll try. I'm not a big cherry soda fan.
I'm a little disappointed that they've re-released Dr. Pepper Cherry, but not in zero sugar. I'm like, I can't. First of all, I can't fathom how people spend 140 calories on drinking friggin' soda,
Say it
and
every
now,
day. It's a waste of calories.
and then the sugar alone, it's just
Ugh.
like it's gonna give me a friggin'
Yeah, but the
headache.
chemicals are probably just killing us even worse. It's
I
probably even worse
will.
for us, but at least there's 0 calories.
You know
Okay.
what? But I'll lose. You know what? I'll look good in my
It will look
casket, though.
good
Okay.
though. Will look good.
Edwin says, "Nice shave, bro." I hate the way I look right now.
What are you talking about? Classic look here.
I let the beard go for about 3, 4 months, and then I shaved it on Saturday because I used last year I shaved 2 weeks before we went away, and I
Uh-huh.
liked the way that it looked in pictures. And I
The
was like, I
little
gotta
the scruff of
get
it, the
it. It
build up
wasn't,
for it.
yeah, a little post scruff.
Yeah, that
So I said,
post scruff.
we're going away, not this coming week, the following week. And I'm like, let me do it. And I just hate the way it looks
It'll
because
well,
I'm
it'll grow
also
back.
I also need a haircut, so the combination of needing a haircut and not having a beard is really pissing me off right now.
What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do?
Um, Chandler says I look 10 years younger. I do I really? I look like
Starting to grow on you now.
I'm in my mid 30s and still an old man, bro. Once you shave, like even the nubs are gray, so I
Can't even
can't.
tell when I shave. Just looks just like a little different. Like what's different about you? I shaved.
New York Sports
Right here.
Empire. Yes, I did originally say Thursday, but as things happen in life, things change. So we moved it up to Wednesday because Pete's got something big planned for the channel tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But we're here tonight. Let's have a good time on a Wednesday night. It's the first, not the first. It's a report cards. We're going to be doing a little bit of report cards here today. We're going to revisit Fred. That's why I was hoping everybody was going to get together here tonight. But you know, Sem's dealing with some life issues. He's okay though. Chris, I don't know what your brother's up to.
Neither do I. Neither do I. Well, we were coaching for a while. We had a little baseball team we were coaching together.
I saw that.
That was great.
You looked the part, Ryan.
It was nice, dude. I felt like I was in the role of Don Zimmer. Okay, I was the bench guy. I was in charge of making sure the bench stayed reasonable and the kids were engaged. And I loved it. It kind of got uprooted a little bit, some parent drama, whatever. But that's the last update I have on Chrissy is that we were coaching some ball together.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember. Geez, I can't even tell you how long ago this was that I was coaching rec basketball. Like
yeah,
this,
you were coaching in the same league I was in. You were coaching my buddies Mickey and Jeff.
you were playing in that
I
league?
was in that league. I was on. I think I
Oh my
was on a
God.
different team. I
Am I
totally
really
remember facing you.
am I really that old, bro? That I coached against
You
you?
you were
you-
a rival coach, dude. We didn't like facing you
I
guys.
was
Didn't you guys have
coaching against.
Mike? You had Gov on your team.
Yeah, we did.
He was a stud.
Oh my God, I can't believe that I'm that old, bro. I was coaching against
I'm right.
you
I'm getting up
in
there
a
with you though. I'm only so far behind.
boy, but we got
That's wild.
We got a lot to talk about here.
Yeah.
So when we did Fred, we did 9 players, I believe. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and then the team.
Mhm.
Now we're gonna do report cards. I added 2 players to the mix because I feel like they're worthy of being talked about here. So we're gonna bring them up here. We're gonna run through the polls and see what the fans had to say. I mean, I don't know why I ever get surprised at how stupid people are, but seeing some of the results on these polls, I mean, like, what are we doing here,
On like
guys?
the current grades, what people were grading them on their first
Yeah,
half.
I mean, like Aaron Judge only got 88% A.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I mean, what
that
are
that
we?
needs to be a strong high 90.
But let's jump right into this here, and we'll talk about a little trade deadline stuff as well as we move forward here. All right, so first up here, and I put him number one for good reason because I feel like he's the topic right now. So what everybody's talking about. Even A-Rod chimed in on this, and that's Anthony Volpe. Volpe, uh, the fans voted 0% A, 1% B, 26% C, and 73% for D/F. I wish I could have just had an extra option there, but we put DF together and they voted 73% D/F. Ryan, you want to start off with what your grade for Anthony Volpe is on his first half?
Oh, I'll start. I'll start by saying that I'm very lenient. I go on more of a curve, so I'll give him the
But
benefit of.
you also are a teacher though, right? Like
I am a
it's
teacher.
so maybe you're a little bit more understanding than maybe I am.
Sure. Here's why I'm giving him an F. No, I'm just kidding. I'll give him. He was probably my hardest to really figure out. It's hard for me to not give him a D because of his defense. I think if he was able to contribute defensively to make up for his lack thereof offensively, then you can make a case for Anthony Volpe's first half that at least he's making up for it at shortstop. The fact that he has looked passive at shortstop, he's making weird errors. He's already up to 11. I think he had 16 all of last season. In combination with his numbers are going down. His OPS is right at that. The Devil's number 666. He's right at that's his average. He's right around there. I think he's at like 663 right now. This was the year for him to take that next step, and he isn't really doing that. For as far as his first half goes, I'll give him a D. But I'm not ready to give up on Anthony Volpe yet. I'm still gonna ride out this year with Volpe. Hope for a second half resurgence. He did the same thing last year. He came out of the gates pretty strong, and then he had a very good October. So there is that element of Anthony Volpe. But after this year, it's hard to continue to give him the benefit of the doubt. And it's just his first half was really bad. I mean, how many hits does he have in his last 30 games? It's
Yeah, let's see here. I can tell you what his batting average over his last 30 is if you
probably in the
give me
it's
one
yeah, it's
second.
probably in the hundreds, low hundreds, maybe every other game getting a hit, getting on base, something, but it's just he's not taking that next step. And that's where I have a leniency with my grading. It's more of at a full evaluation of where were you last year, where are you this year, and where are you going.
Anthony Volpe has 15 hits in his last 107 at bats.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a 140 average. His OPS during that time frame is 439. In his last 30 games, Anthony Volpe has an OPS of 439. I don't know how much. I don't want to cut you off. Were you
no,
done
that's
thinking
it.
of?
That's it. Keep going.
I don't know how much more time and energy I can spend on this show yelling and screaming about him. I really don't.
Yeah, we're in
I
that
f-
territory.
I feel like that horse has been beaten so far down. There's nothing left but the dust of his bones. Okay. For me to say he's been anything other than an F in my evaluation would just be wrong. That he has failed miserably once again in the first half of this season. His current OPS Ryan, for the year, and he started off relatively strong. It was over 700 for a long time, and that's what everybody was like. Oh, look at the OPS, look at the OPS. Well, now the OPS on the year is, where is it? I just had it up. Is 671. It's 663 for his career. He's barely above his career mark for OPS. 671 currently, 663 for his career. When do we finally admit, and I think a lot of people have, but when do we finally admit this is who he is? This is what the Yankees have at shortstop. A very streaky player that can get hot for 2 weeks at a time, but then the next 8 weeks, you have no idea where the hell he is. You can't even find this guy on a milk carton.
15 hits in his last 100 plus. That's terrible.
He has 15 hit in a month's worth of games, 30 games. He has 15 hits and 107 at bats. The OPS is 439. You've taken 1/6 of your season, and you literally couldn't do worse if you had a blindfold on while you were at the plate. I guarantee you, Aaron Judge can get 15 hits blindfolded in 100 at bats.
And that's where the defense needs to make up for that. And that's where it's really alarming to me that he's not making up for it. And you're almost seeing a player who's letting it get to him, which that was something I always held high with Volpe, is that he seemed like he was okay with those, you know, tough moments and stuff like that. Like he was very strong willed to get over those things. But you're almost seeing his game translate now to a player who is not sure of himself.
Well, he's very tentative in the field now, and that's the one thing. Remember when the Yankees moved, when he had those couple of seasons there, and his OPS was under 700, and the Yankees moved the goalpost to tell you he's elite defensively? Well, he's not anymore.
No.
He's turning into a bit of a liability at shortstop. That's why,
He is. I
for
hold my
me,
breath now with him, and I never did that. I'm starting to hold my breath.
and that's why if you wanted me to pass him, I would have needed him to stay at that Gold Glove level, and he's not
Mm,
there anymore.
no.
So Anthony Volpe is an F for me. And just to revisit Fred, Ryan, his number was 691 on the
Damn.
OPS. We all took the over. I think that was an
Oh,
optimistic over
yeah.
that we had
Yeah,
to
coming off a good postseason.
and that we needed him to be over. If he had another one of these years, we would have had this, that we knew that this kid was going to be a complete bust. And well, what did we say? It was 671 right now?
Or 663.
663 career, but 671
Oh,
on the
yeah. Okay.
season.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's 20 points under the projection that we had in the beginning of the year.
Wow.
And I hate to say it, I don't see a world where he gets to 691 or 700 this year. So unfortunately, I got to change what I said about him and say that he's now going to be under 691 for the year.
Yeah, I don't really see it turning around that much where he's able to make up that kind of ground. I'll say he'll hit the under now. I'll
And
flip the switch.
uh, I think what I said to Chris back, whenever I said this is that I wanted the trade deadline, I wanted the All-Star, whatever that time frame I wanted. But I don't know if anything can change from now until the trade deadline that Anthony Volpe can do that can change my opinion. This is a colossal failure right now. There's no other way to describe it, is that this kid was sold to the fan base as not being a good baseball player, but a franchise cornerstone player. And I bring this up all the time, and people don't seem to. I'm not saying everybody doesn't understand it, but some people don't seem to understand it. Ryan, the Yankees put this kid in the friggin' middle of the poster when they advertised to buy tickets. He's in the fucking middle. It's not even like they put him off in the background and Aaron Judge is in the middle. No,
Right.
he's in the middle of the poster. When the Yankees want you to come spend their money, they're telling you that Anthony Volpe is one of the guys that you're going to come and
Yeah,
watch
he's
play
one of the main
baseball.
stars. Who's on the cover of a movie poster where the stars are right in the middle there,
And he is anything but somebody that I want to take money that I worked hard for out of my pocket and plop down and watch play baseball. And we know that this is as much of a marketing thing as it is uh, a baseball thing for the Yankees. And this is the argument we get in with fans all the time on social media. Well, who's the better option? There is no better option. But when your argument back to me is that there's no better option, you also don't have an argument for him continuing to be the shortstop every day. And I understand that Oswald Peraza is terrible. I think his OPS on the year is what Volpe's doing for the last 30 games. I get that. But you can sit a Volpe for 2, 3 games and let him get out of his own head. The Yankees refuse to do that. And the reason why I'm not getting worked up over it anymore is because we know that it's just not this is where we are, right? This is what's going to continue to happen and nothing's going to change. But to sit here and for fans to still be defending him, I need to know what you're seeing that I'm not seeing. And I said that on a social media post the other day. I need to know what you see that I don't see. And somebody told me this is probably the best response that I got. Oh, he's a human and he has feelings. Okay.
Okay.
And I said this on the show Sunday because I actually read it in live time as I was recording. What about my feelings? What about my feelings that get hurt every time I have to watch this kid play baseball? What about my feelings that get hurt that you can pump 93 down the middle to him and you know he's got no chance of making contact on it? What about my feelings? Okay.
Yeah. Take it to the account. The fan. Do you want me to read that super chat that just popped up on the screen? So that was from Ben Dover. A little slight pause break, kind of what you have to do with that new guy in the athletics.
Yeah.
My sister's C word spelt with a K is a better option than Volpe.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen your sisters, but okay. I'm just
Play shortstop.
can it play? Yeah. Okay. Can it play shortstop? Okay.
DJ Steele's Ben's sister, Anita Dix, does indeed have a nice C word, again spelt with the letter K.
Yeah, and there's another super chat from DJ Steele's
that was
earlier
DJ Steele's.
on.
Oh, he sent another one
he
earlier.
Says, "Whoa, Sam looks like a new guy with a clean-shaven face." LOL.
It's like
What's up,
Rupnedo Door.
fellas? Christian's such a stud. He'll tell people when their brake lights are out. Come on, bro. I don't really care that much.
You're like Joe Girardi after winning a World Series.
Yeah, that was wild, bro. You remember that story?
Yeah, great story.
Well, let's move on from Anthony Volpe here, man. I don't know
what the Yankees should also do with.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if people thought this was going to be a more volatile segment on the show here, but I can't get myself aggravated anymore about him. I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
We've reached that level. It's like they're who else has been on that level? It's like he's like, is he at the J Happ level? Like you just like can't even think about him anymore. How many more games until you aren't even able to say his name?
Who, Anthony Volpe?
Yeah.
Well, I told Sem, man, on a previous episode, like I'm done debating. Like I banned certain things on here on this show, and I banned having the conversation about whether or not he's the franchise shortstop.
I'll give him until after October this year, and then I'll nail in the coffin.
Which I agree with you because the way he performed in October last year is why I wasn't ready to throw him out coming into the season. But now another season has gone by, and this is what we've gotten out of him. So was October just his random 2-week hot stretch that he has? Mm-hmm. Look, man, and that's the frustrating part is because even A-Rod was on Michael K's show and said the kid's got talent. He can be a good baseball player. And you know what? I was called horrible, nasty names when I posted that Anthony Volpe needs to be a more line drive hitter, go the other way, and hit for contact. And people were saying, well, you're stupid. Well, Alex Rodriguez said the same friggin' thing on that Michael K show. Is he stupid too? Because last I checked, he's one of the greatest hitters I've ever seen in my entire life.
Sure.
I think he knows what. I mean, if you're not going to take my word for it, maybe take Alex Rodriguez's word for it. So let's move on here to Paul Goldschmidt, okay? Big Goldie. The winning vote was would you rather go A through F or the highest vote to the lowest vote?
A through F. A through F.
All right, A was 27%, B was 64%, C was 8%, and D/F was 1%. So somebody out there really
Okay.
doesn't like
Yeah,
Paul
not a
Goldschmidt.
fan. Maybe a Diamondbacks fan. Got in there. You want me to
So
start here?
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm guessing the B is because his offense is it took a little dive for a little bit, although he has come back. I'd say he's contributing pretty consistently again. I have to give him an A. You're considering the contract, what they got him for, coming off a down year last year, although he had a very nice second half. I'm not even considering the offensive, maybe, struggles that he's had at points in the first half. It's the defense has solidified that this guy has a grade of an A. I don't know where this team would be without Paul Goldschmidt's glove. The guy saves so many errors. Every single game, this guy is doing something over there that is saving this team a run or two, or a base runner or two. I can't stress that enough how important that is for this team right now that they have a guy like that at first
You know,
base.
it's wild because I saw something wild a couple weeks ago. Maybe he doesn't grade well metrically. I'm like,
He
that's
passes the
wild.
eye test with flying colors because there are so many times where a play could go haywire and he's stopping that from happening. Like, the contract itself, it's a 1 year deal on the cheap. They passed on some bigger names. He's got an A from me for the first half.
I'm gonna give him. I think he's been a very solid B player this year, and I think that's a very fair grade for Paul Goldschmidt. I don't think it was reasonable to expect him to sustain that 350 average that he had throughout the beginning of the season, and he's hitting 287 right now. If he just stays in that area where he's hitting in the 275, 280, and can hit lefty pitching, and I would like to see him have a little bit more pop in his bat because we'll talk about that in 1 second. Uh, but like you said, man, he's just been steady Eddie over there at first base. Uh, he's somebody that I trust at first base, and that and that can't be understated because I think a lot of people think that don't value first base. Like I feel like first base doesn't get valued the way it should be anymore.
No, it's kind of a forgotten about position. You just stick the guy, when a first baseman goes down, there's always a guy out of position that gets placed there. He's in talks to go there. It is a somewhat overlooked position.
So I was thinking B minus, B, but I think he's just a solid B. I think he's been very good for the Yankees, not spectacular in any way. He's just been good. And sometimes that's all you need.
Mhm.
Sometimes you don't really need more than that. And to think of how I felt about Paul Goldschmidt when he got signed to how he is right now, to be giving him a B, I think that's a testament to what he's done for the Yankees this year.
Yeah, and that played a part in my grade for him. It's the expectation coming into the year, how he's exceeded that. And his age, he's getting up there. He's on the back end of his career here, so to still be contributing at an above average level, you got to give him that curve.
So his Fred number was 22 home runs. Ryan, you took the over. He actually has 8 right now.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
And I
That's the
took
one thing. That's the one thing I'll say. I was maybe expecting a little bit more pop.
and I took the under because I did not expect a big season out of him. And I'm gonna stick with that. I don't see how he's just gonna go on this massive home run barrage. I'd like to see him hit like maybe 10. Can he give me 10 the rest of the way? Finishing that, high teens and hit 280. And with his defense, I think
Yeah.
that's a very valuable player for the Yankees, and he's proven to be that so far this year.
What did the other fellows take?
Sem and Chris were both. No, Sem was over and Chris was under.
Oh wow. Okay.
So next up on the list here is Jazz Chisholm Jr. Okay, Mr. Jazz. Let me hold on. Multiple app thing kills me all the time here.
Yeah.
You have the chat open, right?
Yeah.
All right. So just if anything pops up, any super chats or any comments you
Yeah, I
want to read,
gotcha.
you can do that for me tonight. Thank you. Appreciate
Sounds
you.
good.
Okay. Uh, Jazz Chisholm got 32% A, 58% B, 9% C, and 1% D/F. Now this is one of those things where I get it, man. It could be a slip of a finger. It could be a people somebody being a jackass. But the guy was an all-star, and so, and he's getting a D/F vote. He's getting D/F votes. I don't get like. And I said to somebody, our buddy Timesville Matic on Twitter, I said, you think after doing this for 9 years, I wouldn't be surprised at the stupidity of people, but I still am surprised at how stupid people can be when we put these polls up. But I'll start with Jazz here, man. I'm gonna give Jazz a B plus for his first half, man. I'm gonna give him a B plus, just a little like a tick under the A because he was a different player before the injury. He's come back after the IL stint, and that whole 70% thing. That's what I was begging out of him for the first half of the year. Stop swinging for the friggin' fences, dude. You are not Barry Bonds. You proved that in the home run derby, okay? Uh, and I've always felt Jazz has the natural ability where he can just luck himself into 25 or 30 home runs being a left-handed hitter at Yankee Stadium. Just be more in control of your swing. And he's been that guy since he's been back off the IL. And now that he's back at second base, Ryan, come on. You talk about the eye test. How much better of a defensive player does he look like at second base,
Yeah.
where he's smoother, he looks more natural, he's not hesitant out there. And the Yankees defense as a whole just looks it's refreshing now. So I'm gonna give Jazz a B plus for his first half, man. I've been very very happy with Jazz. Um, so
For sure. Now, when I was thinking of these, I wasn't really considering like a half grade, like a plus or a minus. So if I were to give him a grade in that sense, I would give him a B plus. But I'm just doing letter grades. So then it becomes, would I round it down to a B or would I round that bad boy up to an A?
I mean,
And
you can do whatever you want here.
that's why I'm
I'm
that's
gonna
what I want to.
I want to throw I want to do plus and
Yeah, do
minuses.
your plus and
If
minus.
you want to stay away from that because that's what the polling was, that's cool too. Okay.
I'm giving Jazz an A.
Okay.
I think his downside has been that he's been hurt every now and again. He didn't look he's like you said, he's looked like a completely, he's looks like an all-star since coming back from that injury. If you look at his career numbers, this is his best season of his career up to this point. And
I'd say, yeah, I would say so.
2022 he had better numbers, but he only played 60 games that year. So overall, you come here, new team, and you look at how he's been since he became a New York Yankee. He's one of the better players in baseball offensively. So, just I'm going with the A. The B plus is what I would consider that, but I'm rounding up. I'm gonna go up.
He hasn't been running
the
as much
all-star.
since the injury, and I'm okay with that. I would love him to do it, but if he doesn't feel comfortable doing it for whatever reason, but he's got guys got to get on base, man. He's so electric
Yeah.
when he's on the base paths.
Also, another reason why I'm bumping him up is because of how he's handled himself. I think that's a huge part when you get a guy who comes here via trade or something like that, how you handle yourself to the media. The guy's really said all the right things. He clearly loves being here, said it's his favorite team he's ever played for. He's willing to do whatever it takes for this team to win ball games, and that goes a huge way.
I mean,
A
right
long way,
now, I
not
mean,
a huge way.
he'd have a career high in OPS. He'd have a career high in OPS plus. He's on pace to have the most. Where is it? He's only I'm sorry. He's only 7 home runs off his career high, and he's
Mhm.
still got the whole second half to go. He's 30 off his career high for RBI, so maybe he can get there. I mean, he's having a hell of a year, man. I think Jazz does get slept on by a lot of people, but I certainly appreciate what Jazz has done for this team. He's already .1 off his career high for WAR. His career high for WAR was last year 2.7, and it's 2.6 right now. I know a lot of people. The WAR stat can be flawed, but it just goes to show you how valuable he's been this year.
Sure.
And his Fred number was on base percentage because I felt that was super important for him to be on base a lot. It was 321. We all took the over on that. and he is currently at 348. So, I mean, he's done a good job in that regard as well, and I'm going to stick with my original pick there.
Yeah, same.
All right, next up on the first half report card, somebody that we did not uh, do a Fred projection for, but I feel it's important to talk about him, and that's Will Warren. Um, like there's guys like Clark Schmidt who's not on, we didn't vote on because it's an incomplete
Yeah.
with the initial injury and now the Tommy John surgery. And then same thing with Stanton. I didn't do anything with him preseason or now because it's also just another incomplete for him. Um, it's hard to really grade him when he hasn't really played a lot this year. But Will Warren, 10% got an A. B was 49%, C was 39%, and D/F was 2%. You want to start, Ryan?
I'm giving him an A. I don't know if I'm a little lenient with these grades, but if you consider his role,
You've always been an easier grader
yeah, I am.
than
It's
us.
the teacher in me. That's what they make us do now. You can't. I don't think I've ever given a C. But for Will Warren, I'm not. I'm not really. I'm. You have to grade on a certain curve for players, and my curve for him is where is he from last year, and what is his role on this team this year? From this year to last year, his jump has been crazy how much better he looks from this year to last year. He's still a rookie this year, too. I don't think he qualified. He didn't qualify
No, he
last
didn't
year.
qualify last year.
So you're seeing a player who's clearly gotten better. And what is Will Warren's role on this team, at least going into the first half of the year? I would say a back end of the rotation guy, right? A 4 or a 5 starter. The guy is everything you would need in a 4 or 5
I
starter.
think he was like, if everybody was healthy, he's probably sixth or seventh on the
Yeah, he's
depth
not even
chart.
in the rotation at that point. So to step up the way he stepped up this year, and you look at his log, I think his last like 10 games or maybe 8 games, he hasn't gone less than he's only gone less than 5 innings once.
Yeah, when he got blasted by Toronto.
Blasted by Toronto. It's 5 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings, 6 and a third, five. That's if you're getting that from your 4 or your 5 guy, it's everything you'd want in that role. So to it's an A based on where he was last year and what they need from him this year.
I'm going to grade the overall performance on the year, and I'm going to give him a B plus. I'm going to grade the overall performance because I've been a big supporter of Will Warren. You mean your brother got into some fights over this last year? Uh, he didn't think he was going to be a major league capable pitcher, and I think he's absolutely shown the ability to be that this year. He's had some big dominant strikeout performances.
Mm-hmm.
The ERA on the season is 4.63, but it's highly inflated based on that Toronto game and when he got his ass kicked by the Dodgers. Outside of that, I mean, I can't really think of many games where I've been disappointed with the performance of Will Warren. Even his last start, man, he grinded through that game and he kept the Yankees in it. That was one of the games they lost, right?
They
Against the
lost that
Cubs.
game 6-5, yeah.
Yeah, but he gave up 2 runs in 5 and a third innings. I'm
Yep,
telling you, we would take that every time out of
absolutely.
Will Warren. But you could tell it was a grind for him because he only struck out one. He usually has a lot better strikeout numbers than that. I mean, Will Warren is a guy that, again, what's his ceiling? I think we are close to what his ceiling is, where he's like a number three starter in your rotation. I think that's what he is, and I think if the postseason started today, Luis Gil's not back. The Yankees
Right.
haven't made a trade. He, I mean, wouldn't you say he's your third starter?
I
I'm
could see them doing, yeah, because they'd have to because Yarborough's hurt too.
and would you really want to put Stroman on the mound? I
No,
mean,
absolutely not. No,
and
I'd
that's not
rather go down with Will Warren than Marcus
and
Stroman.
that's not disrespecting Marcus Stroman because I mean he's been really good for again
Yeah,
grading. You want to talk
that's
about
true.
grading
He
on the
has
curve?
been,
He's
yeah,
been really good since he's been coming off
he
since he's
has been.
coming
He
off the
deserves credit
IL.
for that. He's
Because
been,
there's nobody watching the show right now, and I'll tell you that for free, that thought Marcus Stroman was going to give you one competitive start coming off the IL, and he's
yeah.
giving the Yankees three of them. So, but I think Will Warren. I mean, what do the Yankees think coming up at the deadline? Is he expendable to them? it all depends on what's available. But I mean, as a Yankee fan watching him develop this year, you have to be happy with the development of Will Warren.
Absolutely. FL Divers got Schlittler as the number 3. If the
We'll
season
see.
ended today.
We'll see.
Will
I mean,
Warren.
after 5 1/3 innings, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the
I
only
think,
one. He did look pretty good though.
yeah. I mean,
That's cool.
so next up is another guy we didn't have any preseason projections for, and that's Devin Williams. But
Okay.
again, I feel it's pretty important to talk about him here. A got 7%, B got 44%, C got 40%, and D/F got 9%. I'm going to give Devin Williams a B minus, man. I think that he has earned that. I was sitting when I was doing the polls, I was like C plus. I was like C plus. And then the more and more I think about it, I think he's earned the B minus here. I think he earned the extra point to get into that B category. I'm not going to go crazy and say that he deserves more than that, but I think he has been a very reliable closer for the Yankees. Not a great one. He definitely deserved to lose his job earlier in the season, and who knows if Luke Weaver doesn't get hurt, if he gets his job back. But and I'm
Mhm.
grading that I'm giving him the B minus based on the fact that when the Yankees needed him to step back into that closer role due to injury, he's done a good job, and that's kind of what you want to see. Do I hold my breath and have my bottle of Xanax next to me when he's on the mound in the ninth inning protecting a small lead? Yes,
Yeah.
but to be fair, he's been a B minus this year.
Yeah, I'll give him a B. That terrible stretch is just, the fact that we're giving him a B grade right now after that stretch is pretty impressive. To come to a new team, going from Milwaukee to New York, small market to the Yankees, got to give him a little bit of a break. Combine that with the fact that he's always kind of been a slow starter to begin with, but he's come back, man, and that change up because it's funny when you watching him earlier on the year, you're like, man, why? Like this guy has such great numbers, but I'm not seeing it. And it all comes down to that changeup. When that changeup is effective and he has full control of that, everything changes for him. And that's what you're seeing. When they slow down that changeup that he throws, I don't know how he even does that, man.
He
How
almost like sidearms it
I
too,
know
right?
it's crazy. He's barely even holding the ball and he just dips his fingers. It just goes all the way. It's impressive to see, and the fact that he lost that job, got it back, has stepped up in some injury absence. I feel a lot. I feel pretty confident now when I see him on the mound. It still is hold your breath territory, but it's not like I feel like he's not at like Chapman's level anymore, and Clay Holmes. Like I still think those guys I was maybe holding my breath more than even Devin Williams is where I'm at.
Longer time periods to develop the PTSD with
Sure.
those
Yeah,
two.
the
Yeah.
trauma was a little bit deeper there, so that makes sense. That might be
And
explaining.
Aroldis Chapman was barely breaking 95 when he was on his way out the Yankees, and he's just back around like 102 consistently with the Red
But
Sox.
DJ Steele's got a little thrown off by how I kind of got a little detailed there with how Devin Williams throws that changeup.
Yeah,
He kind of liked it.
breaking it down here.
It's breaking it down. It's nice and slow.
All right, let's move on to El Marciano, the Martian, Jason Dominguez. We got 18% for A, 73% for B, 8% for C, and 1% for D/F. Um, I'm gonna give the Martian a B plus, man.
Okay.
I think the Martian has been really good this year. The Yankees hesitancy in playing him every day is baffling to me. Why they don't for whatever reason, and I get it. I understand the philosophy of wanting to get everybody involved, but we should have never been in a position where you got Trent Grisham hot. I said that
Mhm.
numerous times. I just hate the fact that the Yankees felt the need to give Trent Grisham the requisite at bats to get hot. And yeah, granted, it paid off, but Jason Dominguez should have been out there every day playing left field. I don't think you lose anything with Cody Bellinger in center field, and that should have been your outfield, Judge Belly and Dominguez. And if you watch Dominguez out in left field, Is he a spectacular left fielder? No. Does he play things safe out there? Yes. But I'd rather him play things safe out there than make boneheaded or bad decisions out there. So I think he's coming along as a left fielder. I think if you notice, Ryan, when
Mhm.
they let him play multiple days in a row, especially when they leave him in the leadoff position, he starts to hit. Then they bench him. Then he bats sixth, and then he doesn't. Then he doesn't hit for a couple days. So let this kid play every day. You will get the best out of him. He is a guy. Brian Cashman said this himself. Well, he just hasn't played a lot of baseball. Well, why do you sit him 66% of the time, you jackasses?
I mean, you hit it. It's because of that Trent Grisham surge there.
The one thing that does concern me a little bit out of his play this year is he's only got 8 home runs. I expected a lot more power out of him. And if you really read into those 8 home runs, he has a 3 home run game and he's a two
Mhm.
home run game.
Yeah, great point.
So I mean, he's batting 266 on the year, and I think a lot of that has been weighed down by how he hits his right-handed. Although he's been better right-handed
Yep.
recently, um, I would just like to see him play every day and show me a little bit more power at the plate, especially left-handed at Yankee Stadium, man. There's no reason why he couldn't have hit 25 home runs this year. I don't think he gets there
Mhm.
based on his low output, but I'm very happy so far with the development of Jason Dominguez in his first full year here.
Right, because he is a rookie this year, correct?
Yes, I think he still achieves rookie
And I
status.
mean, to
Yes.
be getting this kind of production from a rookie warrants an A grade for me. Again, that curve, I'm on a different grading scale here because I'm considering the factor that he's young, he's up and coming, he's now becoming an everyday guy. At least up to this point, I do see him playing now every single day. He'll be leadoff. You'd hope for the rest of the year they just kind of stick him up there. Plus, his defense has gotten like noticeably better over the last couple of months because of how unnoticeable he's been out there. Like the routine plays, you were kind of like, oh, he took a weird route to that one, and now you're not really. At least as I'm watching, and I'm not really questioning when the ball goes to him. He's getting the ball in the glove. As silly as that might sound, he's looking better out there, and then his bat, he's really contributing. And you see a guy that when he starts the ball game off the way he does, it kind of sets a dynamic that you really love for this lineup. And he is quick, dude. He's fast. So you hope that he can continue this. You're seeing a player who's, at least it appears this way, that he's getting more and more comfortable, more and more confident in himself. And he was a guy, he came out right out of the gate in Houston and just set, you know, right out of the gate, he was just a big time contributor. Um, when he came up that first time. So to now have every day playing time and have that confidence sort of get solidified and grounded, I see this guy having a great second half, and I'm giving his first half an A.
So his Fred number was 243 on the batting average. Everybody went over. He's hitting 266. I'm
All
not
right.
changing that, man.
No, I
I
won't
think
change.
I think he's going to creep at a lot closer to 280 as we move along here.
Mhm.
What do you like? Somebody say something?
No, it was
Oh.
a text. I do want to read some of these grades though for Dominguez. We had NY Sports Empire giving Dominguez a B, Uncle Dom with an A, Chris Perez Jr. B plus, Tyler B plus, Dozer B plus. A lot of B pluses out there. And then, yeah, a couple more down the line. Derek Q. Dominguez sets the tone for our lineup. I completely agree with that. When he gets out of the gate, when he's up on and he gets on base, it sets a nice tone for this lineup.
All right, next up is backstop Austin Wells. He got 6% A, 47% B, 43% C, and then 4% D/F. Ryan, you want to jump
Who's this
in?
for? Sorry, I missed the name.
Austin Wells.
This was another one that was tough for me, but I'm gonna kind of put him in the same category as Volpe, and I'm gonna have to give him a D. He's looked better of late, which I like, but he went missing for a very long time to the point that it looked like they were really considering having him not really play at all or drop a lot of
Yeah, you
playing
saw
time.
Ben Rice
Yeah,
got a
you
couple
saw.
of starts there.
Yeah,
They were definitely trying something.
it was lighting some fire in him or something. I don't know, but I thought this was a big year for Austin Wells and Volpe to really take the reins of this team and be a big part of this offense with Aaron Judge. And you're just not seeing it. You're seeing guys, come out of the woodworks that are really taking over for them. Ben Rice is somebody who has sort of supplemented those guys as that young up and comer. I think out of those three, he's the one with the most promise right now, and that's not something that you might have said at the beginning of the year. So again, you want to grade on a way of like taking that next step, and I don't see him taking that next step. Although his power numbers are, excuse me, they're a lot higher this year. I'm gonna choke, so I'm done. It's a D.
You hit it. You hit it on the head though. You were right when you said that this was a tough one because I've been going back and forth of what his grade is. I'm a big fan of Austin Wells. I love the fact they traded Jose Trevino not because because I just got tired of Jose Trevino, but also
Yeah.
because it showed to me the Yankees were committing to Austin Wells as their catcher, right? I don't know what to make of him as an offensive player right now. The power is coming along. You know his Fred number was 14 home runs. We all took the over. He has 14 home runs right now.
Yeah.
So he's already matched his preseason projection. He should get. I mean, I would think he's going to hit about 25 to 27 home runs this year, which from your backstop is pretty damn good.
Sure.
He hits 226. He strikes out a lot. He's a good defensive player. I wouldn't say he's great. I think he's good. I don't. I'm just very perplexed with Austin Wells here, man. I'm gonna go C minus though.
Okay.
I think he's been his defense plus combined with the fact that I think he's been better in the last couple of weeks offensively brings him up a little bit. But I need a lot more out of Austin Wells than what the Yankees have gotten though. To be honest.
Same.
All right. So next up here on the polls, we got Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon, 54% A, 41% B, 4% C, and then 1% D/F. The guy is a friggin' all-star. I mean, what more do you guys need to see here?
I don't know.
So I don't think anybody on this in this space has spent more time destroying Carlos Rodon than I have. So I think I'll take the jump on this one. I'm going to give Carlos Rodon an A minus for his first half of the season here. All aboard the Rodon resurgence. Choo choo. All right. I've been saying that, and sometimes he frustrates me. He has these games like he does against the Mets where the Yankees desperately need a win, and he's giving up a grand slam to Brandon Nimmo, and he pisses me off. But his Fred number was 4.15 on the ERA. Everybody was over on that.
Yeah, for sure.
And because I just hated Carlos Rodon, I hated what he did for the Yankees, what he did for the Yankees in his first 2 years here, man. But he has been a different pitcher this year. His ERA is 3.08, and will I ever fully trust Carlos Rodon? You know, once a cheater, always a cheater. It's like I take you back, but I'm not leaving you alone with somebody else that you might sleep with because I just can't get that out of my head.
Yeah.
But I'll take you back, Carlos. Like, that's where I am with Carlos Rodon, man. He's been a different guy. I don't know where the Yankees are right now with the pitching injuries that they've had without Carlos Rodon having an all-star first half of the season. And I'm telling you this right now, man. You want to talk about things that get you excited, get you a little, a little warm down below here. Bro, when he goes out there and friggin' shoves an 8-inning performance against one of the best offenses in the league on Friday night at Yankee Stadium, the day that he gets announced as an all-star, and I'm saying to myself, okay, come on now. I don't really think he's an all-star here. He's been good, but not an all-star, and he's probably only getting it because it's his teammate and Boone's the manager, da-da-da. And he goes out there, and he absolutely shoves against the Cubs.
Yeah.
And he was gassed, and he told Boone he wanted one more with Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
And you saw how much it meant to him and the team with Aaron Judge laying out there in right field on Friday night, man. This is a different guy than we even saw in Game 2 against the Royals where he's going out there dancing on the mound and he just shot his load in the first inning. You know what? I want Carlos Rodon on the mound in game 2 again this year. And I have a lot more faith in him being a guy that's going to go out there and absolutely deliver for me in the postseason in this year, man. I'm so happy with the guy Carlos Rodon and the pitcher Carlos Rodon has been this year, man.
You know, we always talk about signature moments being like this positive, awesome moment that they have. I really think his signature moment for the Yankees was that game against the Royals. That was the moment where he has somewhat changed his mentality or the way he's presented himself on the mound. From that point on, he's been calm, cool, collected Carlos. All right. That was his signature moment for me. I'm giving him an A because you've been critical. Everyone's kind of been critical of this guy. I've been very critical. All right. That A stands for apology. I'm sorry, Carlos. I totally gave up on you.
Okay, A for apology.
A for apology,
like
A for effort. I'm so happy that I'm wrong. I was wrong here. The guy's totally proven me wrong. Keep proving me wrong. I hope you're wrong, Christian. He never shows signs of that Carlos that we gave up on. Bearded Carlos. Is the beard giving him
Is it the beard?
Is it the beard or is it coincidence? I'm not
I'll
sure.
give the beard credit.
I'll give the beard a little bit of, it's sometimes all it takes is that little difference, 1 mile per hour. Who knows? A lot of people in the chat are saying, where would this team be without Carlos Rodon?
I literally just said that. Okay.
Yeah, you said it too, and I saw it in the chat as well. Okay. And it's just where would this team be without that guy? I mean, they needed him to step up. That's kind of been the MO with this guy. They've needed him to step up, and now he's finally doing it when they need him to step up, arguably the most that they've needed him to in his Yankee career.
So just for clerical reasons here, you're changing to under 4.15 on the ERA.
Yeah, I'm Team Carlos now.
All right. Now, just the opposite here is that I don't think anybody has spent more time hyping up Cody Bellinger in this space than I have. And he's up next here. And Cody Bellinger got 56% A, 42% B, 2% C, and then nobody voted for D/F. So there's a little bit of a little bit of rationale there. Ryan, you want to jump that off there?
Yeah, I'll go quick for Bellinger. It's an A for me. A lot of these guys are having A performances for me in the first half. I mean, his offense has been like, he started a little slow and you were kind of concerned with him. I even think at one point I was like, maybe he's the guy that gets lost in the shuffle here with this fourth outfielder situation. Obviously that would have been a terrible move. I mean, the guy's really stepped up for this offense. He's made up for the absence of Soto and Torres and has been a great serviceable player who I don't think a lot of us had intentions to have this guy come back, but his first half has made that a question and something that needs to be discussed in the offseason, what they end up doing with this guy. But it's an A grade for me. His bat has been really nice to see.
I coined the term Cody Bangs. I don't know why that just sounded cool to me, and that's what I was running with all off season. And I thought Cody was gonna bang in New York, and he's banged in New York, man. This guy has been everything that we could have hoped for after the trade was made. It was a salary dump on the Cubs' part. Thank you, Cubbies. Okay. Now, no one ever expected him to be Juan Soto, and he's not Juan Soto, but for being the quote plan B, you couldn't have asked for anything better than what Cody Bellinger has given the New York Yankees so far in 2025. Okay. It is an A for me for Cody Bellinger. He started off slowly, but if you go look at those numbers, coincidentally, starting on 420, wonder why he started to get going on that day. This guy has been amazing. A for amazing. Okay. You said Carlos Rodon, A for apology. Cody Bellinger, A for amazing.
Okay.
I want to read you some numbers here. Okay.
Please.
Now, the 2019 MVP season is is what it is for Cody Bellinger. But if you look at some of his numbers here, the 830 OPS that he has right now, and I expect to climb higher, is currently his third best of his career. Okay. His OPS plus a 129, also the third best of his career. You know, you look at he's slugging 495. He's got 16 home runs. Uh, he's he's just been he's batting 282. I mean, did you think with the way he had those first 3 weeks that we would be talking about Cody Bellinger in this light? A lot of fans didn't. A lot of fans were just down on Cody Bellinger, but man, sometimes you just got to give guys time to get acclimated to a new situation. And remember, he had the food poisoning. He had a little bit of a back flare up early on in the season. And ever since that all cleared out, man, this guy has been exactly what you wanted out of your left fielder slash center fielder. This guy is great. Not good. He is great defensively. That double play he made in City Field, man. If he doesn't make that, the Yankees lose that game 100%, and we have no idea how bad that tailspin gets.
Mm.
The Yankees win that game and they go on to rattle off 5 in a row. Now, do you like the fact that they lost 2 in a row to finish the first half? No, but the fact that Cody Bellinger made what could be looked at as a season-saving play, and the Yankees got a little hot after that. That is just another thing that Cody Bellinger does. And Paul O'Neill said this, man, and I can't think of a better description for Cody Bellinger. The guy is a baseball player.
He's a baseball player. Good,
That is,
good,
from a
good
guy
old
like
Paul
Paul
O'Neill.
O'Neill, that is the highest compliment you can pay somebody. The guy is a baseball player. And yeah, man, he holds an option for next year for $20-25 million. Let me say this correctly. He holds an option next year for 20 million. Jesus Christ. I correct myself and I next year he holds an option for $25 million as a player option, so it's his
Mm.
option. I would really love to see the Yankees and him work on on like a 3 to 4 year deal that is a little team friendly to keep him here for the next couple of years. I would really hate to see Cody Bellinger be one and done. I think he fits this team seamlessly. He reminds me of a guy that belongs on the dynasty Yankees. And am I being a little overhyped of Cody Bellinger right now? I mean, that's fair to say if you want to say that, but Cody Bellinger is a guy that's not a superstar. He's a good baseball player that fits in on a good baseball team. I'm sorry. I know I had high expectations for Cody coming in. He's met most of my expectations, and I want to see him stick around past this year.
Yeah, a lot of A's for Cody in the chat for the most part. Medina giving him an A. Jay Garcia also giving him an A. I don't really see anything that is lower than that. It also just it puts Aaron Judge in right field consistently too. If whether he's in center or left field, it keeps Judge away from center field, and that kind of gets overlooked in all of this
And I
too.
mean,
So
even
he
if you
makes the
want to
team
put
better.
right, and even if you want to you want to call up Spencer Jones next year and have a outfield of Jones, Dominguez, and Judge,
Yeah,
we don't have a first baseman.
exactly. Yeah, he's
He can play
versatile.
for, I mean, he can definitely play first base, and then you can look
Yeah,
at, and then you think about what you want to do with Ben Rice. You get Ben Rice some ABs at DH, you get Ben Rice some ABs at catcher, you get him some ABs at first base. There's ways to make this work.
yeah, and then you could put Bellinger in the outfield. It's like you could just keep do a
You
little
give Judge a
rotation out of it.
DH
Yeah,
day, and then Belly
there's
can
ways
play.
to work with
There's
it.
ways to make this work, man. I
Yep.
would hate to see Cody Bellinger be one and done. Cody's Fred. For some reason, I didn't log what Sem picked, but um, you, Chris, and I all picked the over on 20 home runs. He's got 16 now. I think he's going to get close to 30 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Next up here is the ace of the Yankees, and this breaks my heart that I'm not following that
Yeah,
up by
right.
saying Garrett Cole, but he's my new ace. I said this on a show I did with Francis a couple months ago. Garrett Cole's the ace that has my heart, and Max Fried is the ace that's stealing it.
Oh no.
Max Fried got 89% A, 9% B, and then there's 2% of people that think he's been okay this year.
So he had more A grade votes than Judge.
Yes.
In percents at least. Okay.
and 2% voted C, and nobody voted D/F. So
Okay.
I'll start with Max Friedman. This is an easy A for
Yeah.
me. I'm
Mhm.
not. It's hard. There's only one guy getting an A plus.
Mhm.
Only one guy. Spoiler alert.
Mhm.
But this is as easy of an A as you can hand out. This guy has been the epitome of an ace. Did he get? Did I like that? He got knocked around by the Dodgers. They should have won that game. Fine, fine, whatever. Over 162, shit happens. But if you look at, I don't have the updated numbers. I don't have them in front of me, but the amount of times this guy has taken the ball after a Yankee loss, and the amount of times that he's shoved after a Yankee loss, and the amount of times that he's won games after a Yankee loss, ace. The blister thing, is it a little worrisome? Maybe, considering he's got a history of it. But I mean, I talked about this on Sunday. The Yankees don't actually have to start Max Fried until July 23rd with the break, and they can put him back at the back end of the restart. And even then, the 24th is an off day, so you can don't even really have to pitch him to the 25th if you want to avoid an IL stint to
Mhm.
give him an extra couple of days, because maybe you could uh, bring up Alan Winans for a spot start. Not that I want to do that, but I mean, it's something you could definitely look at if you really want to give him some extra time. But when this is the exact pivot point, right? When Max Fried is the big money, big ticket item that you're bringing in here after you lose out on Juan Soto, and he not only meets but beats everybody's expectation while he signed his own record-breaking contract. Remember that no left-handed pitcher in Major League
Yeah.
history getting paid more money than Max Fried is getting paid. You mean to tell me you have a complaint about the way Max Fried has pitched for the New York Yankees this year? I don't. I certainly don't, man. This guy has been nails every time he's gone out there. An easy A for me for
Nails.
Max Fried.
All right. So Carlos Rodon, an A for apology. Who was your A for amazing
A for
or
did I say awesome?
awesome or
Yeah.
whatever? All
For
right.
Cody Bellinger.
Who's it in the chat that just said A for A as an ace?
A for
Okay.
ace.
A for
Okay.
ace. Edwin NG said that. Ace. The epitome of an ace, like you said. Aces aren't just great pitchers. There's certain storylines and things they need to fulfill almost. And the main thing that an ace needs to do is be the stopper. CC Sabathia was the best at this. When your team's coming off a loss, you're the guy I want on the mound to stop it and start a new streak. Every single time they're coming off a loss, this guy comes out there and dominates. The blister thing is concerning, but that great point that they can now maybe push him a little bit to avoid an IL stint. But first half, all-star, ace. It's the worst part about the first half is that we aren't getting to see him pitch alongside Garrett Cole. I'm really looking forward to that. But as far as his first half goes, I mean, the guy is just what a great signing. Brian Cashman really he deserves credit for that one. I know it's 1 year of a long-term deal, but that's an A for me.
All right. So the Fred number was 325 on the ERA. Chris was the only negative Nancy in the group. He took over 325.
Okay.
Rest of us took under. It's 243 right now. I'm staying under, man.
Yeah,
If
I'll
he
stay
balloons
under.
to 325, that's not good for the that's not going to be good for the Yankees
I
right
feel like
now.
we've been pretty in line with Fred. I'd say we
I
had
yeah,
good
I think
numbers
like I
here.
think we said when we did this show in the off season, he's a little less drinky than he's
Yeah,
been.
that's true. I guess maybe that's explaining it.
So next up is the final player on the list, and then we have one more poll to do, and then we'll do a little trade deadline talk here. Is Mr. Aaron Judge? Okay, Aaron Judge. The only reason that I can come up with that this man is not 100% A is people are legitimately stupid.
Yeah,
And I
I don't
mean,
know. I don't know
I
how.
mean legitimately stupid by either you are just a troll, which by definition you're stupid, or you really don't think this is deserving of an A, which I don't know what more this friggin' guy can do on a baseball field. He got 87% A, 6% B, 5% C, and then 2% D/F.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, take that into consideration when like you have somebody like Will Warren got the same amount of D/F percentage as Aaron Judge. I mean, what are we talking about, guys? Do I need to read the numbers?
I don't think you do, because I think Scott Wright makes a good point in the chat here. Judge has set the bar so high that irrational people expect perfection.
But I want to read the numbers.
Then
Seven
read
point
the numbers. Get out of your
seven
system.
point 7.1 on the WAR. Okay, 125 hits. He's got 35 home runs, 81 runs batted in. He's walked 69 times, which means that Aaron Judge has been on base 46% of the time. His OPS is 1194. He's batting 355 with an OPS plus of 228, which outpaces both of his MVP seasons. And you're going to tell me that some catcher with a fat ass is the MVP over Aaron Judge?
Yeah, Big Ben Verlander says so.
No disrespect to Cal Raleigh.
No,
Honest to God,
none at
no
all.
disrespect to Cal Raleigh.
No.
But if you look at the total body of work and can really sit there and tell me Cal Raleigh is the MVP of the American
He's a
League over
catcher,
Aaron
though.
Judge,
He's a catcher.
over Aaron Judge, stop
No, I mean, come on.
talking baseball.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing for me to add there. He's an A. You watch this team every game. This guy is doing something that helps them win.
And I said, I just want to say,
yeah,
I
finish your point.
only reserving A+ for one player. Obviously, it's him.
Right.
I mean, what else could the guy do?
Well, what pitch? Maybe they could have him start pitching. Maybe he could be a reliever.
Oh, I'm sorry, he doesn't pitch, guys.
Yeah,
pitch.
that's. I bet he could. I bet he would be a great pitcher. He could do.
He pitched in, I think.
Yeah,
he
he did.
in high school.
He did.
I think I looked up his numbers one time. They were rather impressive.
They were. And then I kind of brought it up before, but him being out in right field too is just such a big time difference for this defense. I missed that. Geez, what am I trying to say? Friggin' like line drives over the head of the right fielder. He just gets it. How many times is he stopping a double, and just a single, stuff like that. It's just, he's there's nothing really you could say about him because he continues. You said it perfectly once before, how it's like every year he keeps surpassing our expectations, and it's just like, how much more can he do that?
Look, obviously the conversation around Aaron Judge is October, right? We all get that. But we're grading on his first half performance. If you genuinely think this man needs to do more on a baseball field than what he's done, I honestly, I'd hate to be your wife, honestly, because you're just impossible. Imagine living with somebody that's impossible to please.
That's what it would be. That was pretty cool, though, Raleigh. How do you say his last name?
Raleigh.
Did you see that video he took when he was a little kid winning the home run derby? He's like, I'm the home run derby champ. He's like a little kid doing it, and then to have that come true like that was pretty awesome.
His Fred number was 46 home runs. Ryan, you were the negative Nancy on this one. You took the under. You want to amend that?
Yeah, amended.
So let's finish up here on our grades here on our first half report card with the team itself, the New York Yankees. The Yankees got 3% A, 50% B, 43% C, and then a team that currently holds a playoff spot got a 4% D/F. So Ryan, I'll let you start there.
I think you would have seen a lot higher numbers for an A grade had the Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Rays not really taken off this last month or two. I'll give them a B considering they had such a nice lead in the division to now have it be a deficit. They're what, 2.5 back or 2 games back in the loss.
Doing the loss,
Two
yes.
in the loss. So it's like, yeah, in that sense, you're kind of upset that they couldn't take that 7 game lead and just build off of that and continue. And now they're only what, 10 games over 500 at this
Yeah,
point.
I think their high water mark was 17.
Yeah, so when you have a high water mark of 17 and you're ending the first half at 10, that's where you have some sort of concerns. But man, you take away these to this 10 game winning streak for the Blue Jays, 10 game winning streak for the Red Sox. Rays are they're just slowly but surely making their way back up to the top. And you're giving this team an A grade, or you're considering it a little bit more thoroughly than a B. But with all that in mind, I'll give them a B. But really very happy with what I've seen from this team in the first half. I think that they have made up for their losses to lose two of their three best offensive contributors, arguably, in Gleyber Torres and obviously Juan Soto, to lose their best pitcher in Garrett Cole, and to not have that be like the glaring concern of where they're at in this season. It's like, man, we're not really saying, wow, if this team had Garrett Cole, if they had Juan Soto, they would be doing so much better right now. Would they be doing better? Maybe, sure, especially if Cole was here, and Soto too, of course. But I don't really see this team being that much different if the roster was a little bit differently constructed, if it was constructed a little bit differently. I think they'd be right where they're at. So I'll give them a B.
Considering how I felt about this team coming into the season, with all the unknowns on the offensive side and not having Garrett Cole, if you would have told me that we were going to be sitting here giving out report cards during the All-Star break and the New York Yankees were actually going to be 2 games in second place in the division and be the top wild card team, I would have signed for it, in all honesty.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to say they've done anything but have a B level first half would be a lie, because I think expectations come into play with this grade. Also, what keeps them at a B is the fact that they had a 7 game lead in the division like a month ago. That
Yeah.
has to be taken into account too. Because if they had just played around 10 games over and were in this area all year, I'm probably going maybe B plus, A minus territory based on my expectations for this team. But you have to take into account that this team should have been running away with the American League East based on how they were where they were at one point during the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's not fair to give them anything lower than a C. If you want to say they a C because of the June swoon, I can't really argue that. But to say this is a D/F team is just not fair to the way they played overall throughout the course of the first half of the season. And everybody that doesn't think this kind of thing happens to the Yankees every year, it does, because wouldn't you know it, on this day on TikTok was a video from a show last year when we were talking about the Yankees in a 25-game stretch. You want to get what the record was in that 25-game stretch into June into July, Ryan?
25 game stretch, they went 5-20.
7-18.
Yeah.
7-18.
Yeah.
This is what the Yankees do when the calendar strikes June. Now, last year they got a little bit hot in the second half. They won 94 games, I believe it was, and they made it all the way to the World Series. Now, that team was a lot more complete than this team is right now. There's a lot of question marks on this team and whether or not they can sustain the rest of the way here and be a playoff team. But for their overall grade for the first half of the season, it's a B. I think expectations are pretty much, my expectations for this team are actually probably exceeded, if I'm being honest, based on when we talked on 2 weeks before opening day when we did the Fred projections. I would say without reading the book, if you're just reading the cover,
Mm-hmm.
my expectations have been exceeded.
Same here.
So the Fred number for the Yankees was 89 wins, right? The Yankees win total pace as of right now is
89.
89 wins.
Wow, Freddie
Uh,
Push.
Chris and I took the under. You and Sem took the over. What are you? Where are you on
I'll
that? Right?
stick with the over.
I think I'm going to go over based on their based on their what do you call it? Their
Their
pace that
strength
they're
of
on right
schedule.
now. No, the pace that they're on right
Okay.
now.
Okay. Yeah.
So
June's a tough month for them to begin with, and their schedule was also it's been pretty tricky. And then out of the gate in the next half of July is going to be tricky too. It doesn't really slow down too much. I think there's maybe a series in there, but then I think they play the Marlins to start August or something like that. But they have some
the
tough,
Yankees
tough
schedule
matchups.
coming up out of the All-Star break is not easy.
Hmm.
They go to Atlanta for three. Then this is a big series, man. The Yankees have to have their heads screwed on straight because then they're going three up to Toronto, man. They need to.
Yeah.
That's a revenge series.
Yeah.
Then home for Philly and Tampa to close out July, and then they'll have a little, hopefully a little bit of an easy road trip with Miami and Texas. So but this stretch coming out of the All-Star break is not going to be easy for the Yankees and people. Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta is. Atlanta's 42 and 53, but I don't think of Atlanta as a team that's 11 games under 500.
No, and they have some bats in there too that could cause problems.
So we'll do a bonus. Well, actually, first thing I want to do because she commented on every poll. I didn't read any comments, but she commented on every poll. She was one of the people that went out of her way to leave us a 5-star rating and review to help the show out after the guy ripped on Sem. Um, she's a loyal listener, a loyal supporter, man, and I just got to shout her out. Rebecca, she's at peace now for life on X, man. So I just want to shout her out here on the show
Thanks,
right now.
Rebecca.
Um, thank you for obviously, we appreciate everybody, but she just is always above and beyond with the support. So got to definitely shout those people out here. Um, I'll do a bonus one before we do a little trade deadline talk and get out of here.
Okay.
What grade would you give Aaron Boone's job
I knew you were gonna
performance?
say that.
You knew it? Okay, okay.
I'll I don't know. See, because like I don't really think he's the reason. I think he's kind of been decent as the manager this year. I really don't have a lot to criticize as far as what he's done. I've liked the moves he's made, going to certain guys at certain points in the game. I could do without the lineup changes and all of that, and the benching and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm gonna give him a B. I'm gonna give him the same grade I'll give the Yankees because he's their manager and he's keeping them afloat. They seem to respect him and want to play for him. You're seeing a lot in the chat they're winning in spite of Aaron Boone. I don't think that's the case. I think they really do enjoy playing for this guy, and he gets a decent amount out of them. I don't know if a different manager, if they're that much better. I would like maybe some more accountability in the narratives that they push out there, but I mean, who's to say that that's not being done behind closed doors? But maybe a little more transparency from Boone. That's always been the critique for him from me. But I don't know. I'm gonna give him a B.
To be fair,
B for Boone.
I'm gonna give him a C.
Okay. Yeah, I was leaning C, but I'm in a good mood.
I mean, honestly, man, I can't give him anything more than a C, dude. They did this again. They did this again, Ryan, where they just fall asleep for basically an entire month.
Yeah.
And I get it, bro. I was reading something by Randy Miller today where, he doesn't make the lineups and he doesn't get to do the pitching changes. Well, you know what? But he's still the guy that is in the dugout. The team is feeding off the energy or lack thereof that he gives them. You think Dave Roberts is making lineups and Dave Roberts you think he's Buck Showalter out there? They're doing the same thing out in LA.
Hmm.
Different, but the personality is different. That's why everybody that argues with me that nothing's going to change until Cashman's gone, which I think you probably heard here first, okay? you can have that type of guy in the dugout with a different personality. There's guys out there that are not Aaron Boone that believe in the Yankees philosophy. And that's where I am with Aaron Boone, man. But I don't think overall has there's yes, there's been times he's actively gotten in the way of the Yankees losing, but this team is still 10 games above 500 with a lot of question marks on it. And again, expectations go into the grade. So he's had a C level year, which is kind of what he is. And being mediocre as the manager of the Yankees is not good enough though.
Hmm.
I think that's fair to say, right?
For sure. And I think them losing that big lead, because I think, who was it in the chat? Jimmy J said, they blew a big division lead, so it can't be a B. In that sense, I get it, but it's just how much is a manager, especially the manager for the New York Yankees, because you just don't know who's pulling the strings behind the curtain there. How much is Aaron Boone contributing to their record right now? So, I don't know. I'm fine with giving him a B, but I maybe on a different day I'd give him a C.
Look, dude, we all know that Boone is probably not, calling the shots out there, but also we don't need the cupcakes and juice boxes and everything
Yeah,
that,
that's what
you know, we
pisses me
don't we
off.
don't need all that, man. He's telling we get it. You don't want to throw Anthony Volpe under the bus. We don't know. Honestly, as a fan, I don't want you to throw your players under the bus, but don't go out there and say something dumb like he's
Hmm.
elite.
So like a little delusional, because then that trickles down to how the players are speaking. Because you saw in Volpe's latest, presser after, the first half, he's saying the same fucking phrases. He's hitting us with it's right in front of us, stuff
Well,
like
that one,
that.
it was last week. I think he said something. I said, "Damn, man, that really sounds like Greg Bird. I got 5,000 more chances
Oh
from."
yeah, dude. Oh, that was a terrible quote. But yeah, so that's definitely the biggest complaint from me. It's just, but again, but what's to say he doesn't, have Volpe go into his office and he really reams him out? Like who's,
I don't know, but
what's.
then when they're on another 6 game losing streak, and then Jazz Chisholm comes
Mhm.
out and says that he told us to be unfazed by this. No, this is the time to get phased, dude. This is the
Yeah,
time to
because
get phased.
it's that 5,000 at bat mentality. It's like, no, you don't know if you're even going to get one more at bat. It's like every game you got to take it, especially at this point in the season that it gets magnified.
Or
So,
like, or like when you're on a 6 game losing streak and you blew a 7 game lead in the division, and I think they were three back at the time. You can tell your players all you want that they're the best team in the league. Obviously, it's not showing out, right?
mhm.
You never let that should never get out to the media. We as fans should never hear that.
Yeah, it works both ways. I don't even want to hear that shit then.
So we've been running about an hour and a half here. We want to thank everybody that's been in the chat tonight, but we had a lot to talk about. I had fun talking Yankee baseball with SGR, man. You gotta
We're
hop
s-
on. You gotta
yeah, no,
hop
I
on,
do.
man.
I know. I love it. It's just no energy anymore.
Okay, I'll send you some 5 hour energy. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I stopped drinking as much caffeine except for these Coke Zeros. But
You're gonna have to funnel some Mountain Dews.
I might need to, yeah, go buy a funnel, get some Baja Blast, and go to town here.
All right, so we'll wrap up the show on this. I want to get your take on this.
Okay.
True or false? The Yankees should be all in at the trade deadline.
True. Absolutely. That's something I wanted to comment on. I'm glad you brought this up because I loved Cashman's comments. Let's hope he puts his money where his mouth is and he actually backs it up. All right, because that's he's never he's sometimes he's hesitant to kind of express what his intentions are. So for him to be quoted as saying they are all in,
Can you
all
do
right,
that in Cashman's voice?
yeah,
There we
that
go.
will. I was getting there, Christian. We are all in. We feel like the first half was good, not great. We feel like we're a couple pieces away. We're looking at the third base market. We're looking at the relief pitcher market. We're looking at the starting pitcher market. Seth Lugo's out there. Brendan Donovan's out there. We might try to get him. We're looking at Eugenio Suarez. I know SGR likes Ketel Marte. That's a pipe dream, SGR. Okay, it's not happening, but we might be able to get Suarez and Gallen. We'll see.
Uncle Dom requested it. I love hearing it, but I did it for Uncle Dom. I made the
Nice.
request for Uncle
Oh,
Dom
good.
here.
No, that's for you, Uncle Dom.
Um, I'm glad that you're in agreement that they need to be all in at the trade deadline because they absolutely have to be all in at the trade deadline, man. And you've already wasted Garrett Cole's prime. The prime of Garrett Cole's career is now over. This Tommy John surgery marked a definitive end of the prime of Garrett Cole. When he comes back, he's no longer a prime ace in the Major League Baseball. Okay. And it
It's
pains me to
sad.
say, that I love the guy, but old Sarge just popped in. He says the Yanks don't have the prospects to cover all the holes. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, you don't have to fill, you don't have to fill all the holes. Okay.
Oh man. Not all the holes, but a couple of those holes could be filled.
Yeah, you could definitely fill a couple of them. Okay.
We have some young guys in our system to fill those holes.
Look, you don't want to waste Aaron Judge's prime, okay? The Yankees have to be proactive at the I wanted them to trade for a reliever 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You have to be active at the trade deadline. I'm not talking Mark Leiter Jr. active. You got to put somebody on there that's going to get outs at the back end of this at the back end of games here. Get me somebody that throws 100 miles an hour. Every bad team in Major League Baseball trots somebody out of their bullpen throwing 100 miles an hour, and we are relying on guys that throw changeups and splitters that top
Right.
out at 93. Give me one guy that throws 100 miles. I don't even care if his ERA is 8. Let Matt Blake work with him for a week. Let me get somebody out there that throws pure gas. That's why I got so excited seeing Cam Schlittler. I was like, Jesus Christ, we had somebody come up here throwing 100 miles an hour.
Man, you took some flack for that on Twitter, by the way.
I did because
That was
people are
ridiculous.
again, people are stupid.
They're like, did you forget about Luis Severino? It's like, can you name anybody else besides Luis Severino and
Luis
Luis
Severino,
Heel?
they debuted 10 years ago. That's
That's
who
two
you're.
guys in 10 years that, and then I don't know if anyone said it in the chat, but one person or in that, on that tweet was Ridings. Remember that guy? What happened to Steven Ridings, dude? That guy had a little bit of a little pop in his
I mean,
fastball.
yeah. I mean, wow. I didn't even see his name pop up in there,
No,
but
that was a name that I thought of, I guess, when I was reading through it. But what? So two and a half guys in 10 years? You can't get a little excited when you have a starting pitcher's clocking at 100 or close to it?
and the way I looked at Luis Hill was like, dude, the guy made his major league debut 4 years ago.
Made his debut 4 years ago, and he's hurt right now. Like, so let's now when he comes back, this is like his sophomore season. That's the make or break year. So like, yeah, it's great. He throws hard, but your point was definitely a valid point that I was shocked at how many people were going against it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just shows the utter stupidity of
Yeah,
people. But
right.
um, Aaron Judge is 33 years old. We got to put this into context, man.
Right, dude.
I'm not saying that he can't have another MVP season. I'm not saying he can't get better, but Father Time is undefeated, man.
Hmm.
We don't know if Aaron Judge is ever going to have another historic MVP season. Why give up on a season, guys? That's what I hear.
Yeah.
It's somebody in the chat said the season's over. Bring up the young guys. Stop.
They're in a playoff spot.
You want to punt a season where you're in a playoff spot? You want to punt a season where Max Fried's pitching like an ace? It's another thing I bring up. We've already wasted Garrett Cole's prime. We don't know if Max Fried's ever going to be as good as he is right now.
Yeah. Even Carlos Rodon, we got to cash in while he's back to who he was.
I mean, DJ Steele's like, get Tom Brady, dude. The guy's, I mean, that's just like a 1 in a million thing, though. Tom
Again,
Brady.
right. There's always exceptions to these rules. Name 10 Tom Brady's. You can't. Maybe
But
LeBron,
you have a year where Aaron Judge is going to
Julio
set
Franco.
record. Aaron Judge is going to set records again, and you want to punt the season? I can't do that, man. And it's not like they're 4 games out of the final wild card. They're 2 games out of the division lead and in the top wild card
And
spot.
they lost that top division spot to teams that are on a crazy pace right now that it's not sustainable. So they're going to come back down to earth, and you
And
hope
a
that the
team that we're
Yankees do as well.
playing next week.
Right. That's what kind of sucks with the schedule being generated by a computer is that in September, man, the only team in the division I think that we really face a lot is Baltimore. Outside of that, it's just outer division games, or it's just maybe not at the end of the season, they have like 7 games against Baltimore. You need to have these division games at the end here to wrap it up. It
I'm telling you
sucks.
right now, to me, there's nobody off limits at the trade deadline right now. I got myself in trouble for saying how much I love Cam Schlittler. I trade him. Spencer Jones, I even I cut the video when I talked about this on the show Sunday because I think this hot streak has made two things available to the Yankees: either A, selling high on Spencer Jones, or B, trading Trent Grisham. It made
Yeah.
Trent Grisham expendable, right? I could trade Spencer Jones, but I'm also imploring the Yankees not to be stupid here. Okay, you can trade Cam Schlittler and Spencer Jones. You can't trade him for rentals, bro. Cam Schlittler and Spencer Jones going in deals for Zach Gallen, who is an ERA over 5 right now. Zach Gallen is a rental with an ERA over 5. He has his highest home runs per 9, his highest walks per 9, his lowest K per 9. This is not the answer. And you get how do you say his name? Eugenio
Eugenio?
Suarez. He's also a rental, and people are looking at 28 home runs. He's a terrible defender that strikes out a ton.
Mm.
Is that the answer? If you could give me a different list of prospects for Suarez, yeah, I'd be in on that. But Schlittler or Jones, that's not the answer for. Those are not the guys I want to give up in a package that would get me Zach Gallen and Suarez back. There are certain guys that I would trade Schlittler and Jones for, man. You know what? You want to tell me Emmanuel Clause's on the board, and I got,
Okay.
you know what? And I get his postseason struggles, and Francis and Kev disagree with me on this, bro.
Well, he's better than Mariano.
Yeah, well, that's what I heard. Anyway, I mean, geez, dude, I'll pay for Clause's plane ticket to the Bronx myself. I'm looking at multiple. You got to be looking at guys with multiple years of control. Also,
Hmm.
number one, if you're trading Schlittler or Jones, in my opinion.
Okay.
And really, does Zach Gallen move the needle for you?
No, I don't even know if that changes the rotation really too much. Like where I would trust him over certain guys come October if he's, playing to this level. But I
The
don't know.
Yan- the Yankees have to be aggressive. They have to be all in. This is the year to push your chips in the middle of the table. They didn't do
Yeah.
it last year,
No.
and with 1 year with Juan Soto, and that was really a mistake. That they didn't really push their chips in the middle of the
Hmm.
table last year when they knew they had to, when they absolutely knew they had it to. And that gives me a little bit of pause here. We're like, are they really going to do it? But I mean, you have to be all in, man. You have to be aggressive. You know, you can look around the American League and who really scares you? The Tigers?
And I guess Houston now is starting to come up, get a little scary.
The
But no
Yankees
one in
need
the
to be
division
smart
scares me.
but aggressive here. I don't want to hear price tags. I don't want to hear this. You know, if Johan Duran for the Twins is available and they want,
Mm.
they want Spencer Jones, dude.
And that's what teams do with the Yankees. They do over ask the Yankees for these guys. So they'll take a
I mean,
lesser deal
honestly, the
somewhere
only
else.
guy that I could see really that should be off limits for the Yankees is George Lombard.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not against trading prospects. They're unproven talent. Their stock is climbing, so that's why it always makes you hesitant. Especially you're seeing Jones really do great in AAA, and now Schlittler's really got some eyes on him after that 5 inning performance.
Yeah, and then Guilo Sorsa in the chat says Roger Garais is another guy that the Yankees have down there. He's blocked. I mean,
Hmm.
with Volpe and
Yeah,
Lombard. I
yeah,
mean,
they could maybe move him. Yeah, you said Roderick Arias.
yeah. I mean,
Was
the
it?
Yankees have
Was it
prospects to
one
deal.
guy?
Don't let people convince you that they
No,
don't. They have prospects
I
to deal.
think they'll have those guys. I see Seth Lugo on this team by the deadline. I know he's gonna get traded. He's gonna get traded somewhere, and he's a rental, so you won't have to really give up your top flight prospects for Lugo. I make some phone calls for Donovan on the Cardinals. I'm not really too familiar with the relief game with the market for a reliever right now, but that's the Yankees' strength, is finding those guys that no one really knows is going to be a big time contributor. But I
I
would love
know
Seth
that
Lugo on this
I
team.
know that's their strength, but I need somebody that's been proven in the back end.
Proven in the back end, but if you have somebody who's
Oh,
proven in the back end, then they're probably an 8 or a 9 inning guy, and then they're not really gonna use him in the 8th or 9th inning because they have those innings kind of locked up right now.
yeah, but you push Luke Weaver back to your
Okay,
the
yeah,
sixth,
and he's
seventh
it's
inning.
you're more flexible with him. He's not really a guy that
You
you
can
have
be
to worry
flexible
about.
with Luke Weaver.
Yeah, he'll do anything.
I mean, you
Yeah,
might hear
that's fair, especially for
Devin
the postseason.
Devin Williams might cry.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like they had to change the whole facial hair policy for that guy. So I'm not.
But I said they really changed it for Carlos Rodon. They did it for him.
Yes, they did. They did that for us, actually. Maybe this whole facial hair policy was for the fans to get the most out of the players they root for.
It's going to be a very interesting 2 weeks as we are. I think we're exactly 2 weeks away from the trade deadline on July 30th. Yep, 2 weeks in a day. July 31st is a Thursday. I hate the fact that the last 2 years I've been on vacation during the trade deadline. I don't want to be glued to my phone when I'm on vacation.
Just do like notifications on passing or something. It'll like alert you, so you don't have to check. I'll just go.
I hate to be scrolling every 3 seconds while I'm trying to relax on the beach. I've seen what's going on, but
Eh,
certain decisions I don't get to make. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, but. So we'll take a look ahead here. One more day of the All-Star break, and then it's to Atlanta for the Atlanta Braves. 7:15 on Friday. There's no pitchers listed for either team, and then 7:15 on Saturday, and then 1:35 on Sunday. So a little Saturday night action.
yeah, I was gonna say.
That's not a national game. That game will be on Yes, so
Hmm.
that's kind of rare there.
Yeah.
But we will be back on Sunday. Another new episode of the NYYST podcast will be recorded Sunday to wrap up the Braves series. Drop on Monday morning. That will be audio only. So please make sure you are subscribed to the show on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss anything throughout the course of the season. And please leave us a 5-star rating and review while you're over there subscribing. And if you've been in the chat tonight, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. We love you. And make sure you are subscribed to NYY Underground as well. And smash that like button, guys. And tell everybody NYYST is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. Ryan, man, I had so much fun talking Yankee baseball with you tonight, man. Please
Always
don't
do.
be a stranger, bro.
Always do. Oh yeah, I won't be. I won't be. Especially summer. I have my schedule lightens up, so I should be a pretty consistent guest here on the this little staple action here. on
Okay,
the,
so
NYYST.
any final words on Superman before we say goodbye?
Who's this Mr. Fantastic guy? The movie was terrible. It should have been called Mr. Terrible. Okay.
What about the dog, Mike?
And there's a cryptor. Who's this cryptor? They never had a dog. What's the next? It's gonna be Cat Dog. What are they doing with these characters?
You're really close to Arnold there. You know
Was
that?
it there? Well, that's probably because I've been watching the Terminator.
Oh, you have been?
I watched the first one. I'm on the second one now. Yeah, maybe it was a little. This is more the Arnold. Okay, I did not like. I can't do an Arnold because it's too generic. Everyone could do an Arnold, so I don't like doing Arnold.
But Crypto is a little Pomeranian. What is he? A Maltese? Okay, is a little Maltese fighting Lex Luthor. Okay, it's terrible, Mr. Terrible. Okay. Go ahead.
All right, we love you guys so much. Thank you for your continued support, and thank you very much for listening and watching episode 479 SGR.
Go Yanks.
Say goodbye.
Peace.
Can't make a promise, but I do my best. 25 sitting on 25 racks. Just got started, no, we ain't done yet. Bought a new crib, that's a goddamn flex. Sign that check. Told them last year that I been up next. Can't take